welcome to At The Computer. You know, we took a cue from the Content Creator Playbook and thought we'd do some collaboration to boost our numbers.
All right, so we got Rodrigo here from the Channel 6 Morning News team. How you doing?
Good, man. How are you guys doing?
Great. How's everything going over there?
Oh, it's great. We just got a new helicopter and a new sky camera.
Whoa!
You think Frank and I can hitch a ride sometime?
Actually, it's only for the pilot and the morning news crew.
Oh,
we're not allowed.
I applied for one of those positions, but the network put me here instead.
What's wrong with this show? This is the best show on the network.
You know, nothing's wrong. It's just like in the morning news, they seem like they're one big family. The pay's good, so you just let me know if there's another position.
Hey, you know what? Don't forget about that. Hey, let us know. Do you got a favorite video game you want to play, huh?
I do. It's actually called Streets of Rage 2, and I have it right here.
Oh, wow! Streets of Rage 2! Fuck the helicopter. We're gonna play Streets of Rage 2 at the computer. Welcome to Streets of Rage 2 at the computer. Rod, is this your favorite game of all time?
It's a complicated question.
All right, we'll get deeper into it. Here, let's start at the character select screen. So I'm jealous. Rod already called dibs on Blaze. I thought, I was gonna play as the hottie, but Rod's our guest here. We'll treat him with respect. He can play as the cute girl if he wants to.
Thank you.
So this is, probably, I would put this maybe the top 5 video game songs of all time. I fucking love the Go Straight song. Damn, I'm already kicking ass, dude. I thought you were good at this game. I'm really good at this.
Well, I just want to be nice, show everybody how it is. Oh, fuck.
Okay, so Rod, what is your history with Streets of Rage 2?
Okay, so Streets of Rage 2 was one of those, games that I first played when I was little. I can fondly remember playing this game.
And you had it, as a kid on Genesis, right?
Yeah, and, it's something about this game. I mean, the fact that I'm walking around just beating the hell out of people. It's okay, no worries.
Yeah.
It's just the coolest fucking thing to me, because where I was raised, there's always a lot of fights and everything. Yeah. And I'm not a fighter, I'm a lover. And the thing is, what I do is, if at school, if I get bullied or whatever, something like that, I could just go home and then play Streets of Rage 2 and then just unleash my frustrations on Signal, and all these lame characters. But this is one game I remember playing this game with my brother. I would play this game with my friends, and I got so addicted to it. And the reason why I keep coming back to this game is just the music and just how cool, how cool it is to just walk around and just beat the hell out of people.
Well, that's one thing that this game has a leg up on over the Final Fight console version. I love Final Fight as a kid, but there was no 2-player mode in Final Fight.
Yeah.
And so, imagine it, especially having a sibling, this as a 2-player game is, fucking perfect. Hey, come over, let's play this for an hour. That's also why I like beat 'em ups in general. It's that's a great game to play with friends, because it's all right, let's just fucking play this ridiculous 90s trip. It's 1 hour and it's one and done. Did you have difficulties? Because one thing, I had a ton of games on Super Nintendo, but I sucked at beating games. I could never get past the 3rd stage and stuff.
Yeah.
Were you able to get good at this game early on, or was it not until later that you were able to master it?
I think I got at first, it's usually difficult playing games, but then later on, as soon as you get the whole point of it, even to this day, this game has tricks or whatever that I learned that just makes it even easier.
Oh, what are some tricks? I know what is it, burning upper?
Yeah, forward punch does a cool little move. Which is the most useful move in the game, actually.
Can you just cheese the game though and just do that for the whole thing?
You can, but there's some bosses that they see that coming, or they move around too much, and it makes it difficult. But I remember I first played this game. I had difficulty beating it because I was just by myself. I was a little kid back then, and it wasn't until later that I would play with my friends, and then that's how we managed to beat the game.
Okay.
And since we played this game so much, I just got so used to the difficulty. I was able to beat it by myself. Even on a road trip, because I have it on 3DS as well. It is
okay,
I can just spend hours, on this game, and it's pretty easy for me now. But I know there's people that might have difficulty with it.
So my history of Streets of Rage 2, like I said, I grew up as a Super Nintendo kid. I don't think I played Streets of Rage until this 360 port came out, in 2005. And so when I played it, I mean, oh shit, this music is great. But other than that, it was just all right, this is all right. Because it's I grew up with an affinity for Final Fight my whole time. But it's so weird. I think about this a lot as a kid. I grew up Super Nintendo. Was never really exposed to Sega stuff until the Dreamcast. So yeah, I didn't that's why I don't give a shit about Sonic. Sonic Remix sort of Mania came out, and everyone's oh, that game. I'm now that I'm older, I appreciate the whole Sega vibe, the music is the thing that in all Sega games, and the music and like art are always beautiful. But yeah, I never had an affinity for Sonic. I didn't care about Streets of Rage. Even to this day, like I appreciate like the music, but the game itself, just like I'm just in that camp where I like Final Fight. Bruce, did you ever play Streets of Rage or Genesis or anything?
The only time I played Streets of Rage 2 is when I came up to your place and we played through the games together.
There you go. Booyah, see? Classic.
That was like 5 years ago.
Yeah, so like I've always been more of a Final Fight person. So Rod, what is your take on Final Fight?
Well, again, also, like, I didn't know there was a thing such as, like, Final Fight, because I always had the Sega Genesis. It was until later that I got a Super Nintendo. But even then, like, I was never really into Final Fight.
Yeah.
Because there's something about, like, these Capcom fighting games that just, like, they're fun, but then they don't look the way, like, a Sega Genesis game does, you know? Like, there's something off. Like, even if I, like, Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, like, that game just has a certain style to it. But I feel like Streets of Rage 2, you know, it looks like a certain way that I loved even more. Like, it just feels grimy. But even then, like, it's not that, well, Final Fight has, like, some...
This is the first boss?
Yeah, well, like a sub-boss.
Mini-boss, yeah.
The gameplay in Final Fight is so off for me. Because in this one, I feel like everything connects really well. Like, there's weight to it.
Okay.
Where you could like combo stuff, you know, before combos or whatever.
Yeah.
So you could jump, press down and attack, and then just lead into like another like move, you know, like a certain combo move. There's grapples you can do. You can throw people. You can do like just co-op moves in this game. Whereas Final Fight, it just feels more like, I'm just walking left and right and just hitting punch. You know, it feels like Double Dragon in a sense, where there's only two buttons.
Final Fight came out first, and then they did Streets of Rage 1. But like, I hear no one talks about Streets of Rage 1. Is Streets of Rage 1 good, or is it like just kind of early janky?
No, it's good. I would actually compare the first one to something like the Terminator, in a sense. Like, it's really good. Yeah, it's good, but then the second one improves on it so much more. Even though now I think the first Terminator.
Well, that's
is
also why
best.
I feel like the comparison to Final Fight over Streets of Rage 2 is kind of unfair, because like Final Fight came out in '89, and then Sega had like 2 times to iterate on it with Streets of Rage 1, and then they iterated again with Streets of Rage 2. Because like that's the one thing that sucks with Final Fight is like Final Fight franchise got worse as it went on, or like Final Fight 2 sucks, but Final Fight 3 is good. Whereas like Streets of Rage got better. But what about Streets of Rage 3? Is that also good? Is that on the same level? Like, why does Streets of Rage 2 hold up above everything else?
I think the reason why is because Streets of Rage 3 came out at a time where everybody was already moving on to like the next
Same thing
console.
with Final Fight 3. I love Final Fight 3. No one gives a shit about it.
Yeah, and also, I mean, like the soundtrack is good, but it's not as good. Like it doesn't have like its defining, you know, like tracks. It does have like a variety of like improvements. Like you can finally run in the third game.
Yeah, same thing with Final Fight.
Now you can like wait until your special is up, and then when you press like, you know, like this special, you know, one of those it hurts you, but then also hurts them even more, kind of thing.
I love these Mad Max bikers.
Yeah, there's like a meter on the third game that makes it easier so that you don't lose health, and it builds up over time. But it adds more like variety, definitely. But I feel like there's something about the second one that just had everything perfect, you know?
Yeah. So like I love like Final Fight, and then that team made like there's millions of Capcom beat 'em ups like the Punisher and shit like that.
Yeah.
What are there any other like Sega brawlers? Like I know they get into 3D space with like Die Hard, Dynamite Deca, and that shit. But like, was there any like spin-offs of Streets of Rage? Because they didn't do any sequels or anything. But like, did that team make anything similar? I know that it's from the same director of like Shinobi or Revenge of the Shinobi. Is that like the closest thing, or was there anything after?
Yeah, I feel like that would be the closest, because in terms of like beat 'em ups, I mean, there's Comic Zone.
Oh, okay, Comic Zone's pretty rad.
Yeah, and then there's like some other games.
We gotta put that on our list. Comic Zone kicks ass.
That's a kick-ass game. No, I feel like they found that this game was gonna be like, all right, this is the game we need to like stick to. You know, we need to perfect this game. Unfortunately, you know, Streets of Rage 3 came out. Nobody really played it that much. It's still good.
Yeah,
but it's not like
Yeah.
And then after that, they just moved on to like the next systems, like Sega Saturn. But then they didn't really stick to like.
I just want to get this Apple.
They didn't stick to like the beat 'em ups. Streets of Rage 2 was like, you know, it's perfect.
This is so unfair. You got these people on motorcycles, but I can only walk, you can't run. Like, it's unfair as hell. Tempest.
Just jump and kick, man.
Going back to the Super Nintendo thing, I always think about like how different my life would be if I grew up as a Genesis kid, and then what if you had a Super Nintendo instead, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
you guys don't want to talk about that.
What?
It's like alternate history.
It's crazy, because it's like...
You might be dead.
I know,
no.
I mean, thankfully I'm not a furry, but if I had Sonic as a kid, I don't know. I think it's also why people lose their shit over Nintendo, and like rightfully so. Like Breath of the Wild's cool. I haven't played the Mario Odyssey, whatever yet. But
Whatever.
like, I think the reason why is I grew up on Super Nintendo, so I fucking played Donkey Kong and Super Mario and all that shit forever. And then finally got a PlayStation, I left all that baby shit behind. Like, you know what I mean? Like, GameCube really didn't do anything for me. Like, the Wii, Wii U, and even the Switch, like, it's fine, but it's like, okay, Nintendo was my life for 10 years. I'm, like, over that phase. You know, like, I still respect, I love all video games, but it's just, are these guys our friends, or are they gonna kick our ass?
Oh, they're gonna fight us later.
Why aren't they fighting us
Or
now?
enjoy
Because
the
we're
show.
about to fight these guys.
Okay, this is like a Street Fighter stage. Oh, okay, I guess it's like a little mini boss. But, yeah, I don't know, like, what, so, like, I it wasn't until, like, emulators and this, like, 360 Genesis collection I really start diving in. Like, when 360 came out, Sega released all these Genesis ports, so I played Sonic 2 for the first time and loved it, and, like, yeah, it's just a weird thing. Were there any other, like, Genesis games you loved as a kid that I'm wondering, like, oh, did I miss out on?
Well, there's definitely, like we just talked about, Comic Zone.
That was a game I always saw, like, occasionally I thought was cool, but yeah, never had access to it.
Yeah, that one definitely stands out. There's Vector Man also.
Vector Man, that's a game other people play. It's on this Genesis collection.
Yeah.
I might check that out in the future, yeah.
There's also, like, Shinobi, you know?
Yeah, I never played the Shinobi games.
There's a lot of games on there, but those are all, like... It's a little hard to compare.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, what we have there is, like, it's kind of slim, but they're amazing, you know? It's kind of like...
Well, wasn't the Genesis mainly known for kind of like having just better versions of SNES games?
Yeah, so like
there's
Mortal
debate there.
Kombat. Yeah.
Yeah, so there one thing, so like the whole thing in the 90s, and I'll link this book again because it's one of the best books, is the Console Wars, where it's like, did you read that book, Rod?
I did not know.
So it's Console Wars details like Sega versus Nintendo in the 90s, and it's amazing. And like right now Seth Rogen's adapting it to be a movie. But like it's a really great story. This fucker, I don't like this guy. He looks like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles character.
Cool.
The whole thing with Console Wars is, yeah, and Nintendo was seen as like, because like in the 80s there was Nintendo had Nintendo, and then Sega had, was it Master System or whatever the fuck?
Yeah.
Their original thing, and that didn't make a splash in the U.S. So then when Genesis was going to come out, they ratcheted up their marketing to be, you know, Sega does what Nintendo. Nintendo's for babies, Sega's where the cool kids play. So their shit on Sega was just harder and more like tough. That's why Sonic has this little like snarky attitude, whereas Mario's like a little like, not a pussy, but you know, Mario's more Mickey Mouse, and
right.
Mario's Mickey Mouse and Sonic's Sonic. You know, Sonic's cool as hell.
Saying Mickey Mouse is pussy?
Kind of, yeah. I think Donald Duck's cooler. You know, Donald Duck's got a little fucking mouth on him. Anyways,
He talks shit, yeah.
Yeah, he talks shit, dude. You know, and Mickey Mouse like, oh boy. So
yeah, they definitely had like, I feel like this was Sega Genesis was like the Attitude Era of like fucking wrestling, you know?
Yeah.
And it's cool. Yeah, they were definitely just like, yo, we're cooler. We have like
so yeah,
the
so
hardcore
so
stuff.
How do you hit this guy, Rod? Give me your tips. This is annoying.
Oh,
This is
wait,
so
when
fucking
he does that flying move, that's a jumping kick.
See, Final Fight doesn't have any stupid ass bosses like this.
Well, I mean,
What about the guy in the wheelchair?
Rolento sucks.
there's a guy in a wheelchair.
What I was trying
There
to,
you go.
my point, Mickey Mouse versus Donald Duck. Mortal Kombat on Genesis has blood. That's you
Yes.
win. You end of combination.
Yeah.
And so I always think, like, if I had the blood version of Mortal Kombat, would I have grown up a school shooter? I don't know. So you were, you know, Genesis were all for all the wild childs out there. How did you grow up? Were you okay, or were you twisted with your sick Genesis vibes?
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
just,
right. Have you shot anyone?
my lawyer says I can't talk about that. But I mean, growing up, yeah, again, it's this whole, for some reason, it sticks back to me where it's like, I grew up, again, kind of like a difficult childhood. I grew up like not on the streets, but you know, like Los Angeles and stuff.
Yeah.
Not the cool side, not like the Ingrid Goes
Yeah.
West side, but like for us, like I'm like beating people up, I'm shooting people in games.
Yeah.
But that's where I take out my frustration,
Yeah,
you know?
dude.
And I feel like Nintendo, like, yeah, it has that too, but I also don't want to be like jumping around collecting coins that much, you know? Like it doesn't help me like vent my frustrations like in life.
Fuck
that-
yeah.
maybe that
How does
Frank
Vector
was
Man?
a-
How does Vector Man help you vent your frustrations?
Well, he's shooting, you know? with
Oh
his hand.
hell yeah!
I'll say maybe that's why Frank was a Nintendo kid growing up. You know, he grew up in
Oh,
the
one
suburbs.
thing I love, I love that there's the fucking Streets of Rage 1 here. So in Japan, Streets of Rage is bare knuckle, which is a great game.
Yeah.
But I also love when there's video game depictions in video games.
Oh
Like,
man, Bare Knuckles is a better
Yeah.
name.
why is the joystick on the right side? That's like old school shit. I don't like that. Yeah, I just, so this is one cool. Is like Final Fight didn't introduce like verticality in their levels till later. So I like this. You're going down now, baby. That's crazy. Look at these fucking 3D graphics on bottom left. That's cool as hell. All these apples on plates. The one thing that sucks ass on Genesis though, and that's why I'm thankful I grew up a Super Nintendo kid, is Genesis. The version of Street Fighter 2 is like insane. You have
Yeah.
to press select if you want to switch to kicks.
That, yeah, definitely, it wasn't made.
There's no justification there.
There's no, like, fighting games were made for the Sega Genesis. You have 3 buttons. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can work something out, but yeah, it's,
Yeah.
there's no, it's not perfect.
Yeah.
I would say that. Yeah, and I mean, it worked for Mortal Kombat in a sense, but again, that was just like a simpler game, like just punch and kick, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. No one plays Mortal Kombat for like the gameplay.
Yeah, well, the newer ones are really good. Yeah, the newer ones are really good.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, you got like hot ninja chicks, you got Sub-Zero throwing, you know, shooting fireballs, but it's like you're not doing combos in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Although Mortal Kombat 2 kicks ass. What are some of your other favorite beat 'em ups?
Okay, so this list, well, I'll just say it right now, God Hand is one of my favorites. One of my ultimate favorites. There's the Warriors, made by Rockstar Games.
Yeah, let's keep this 2D territory for now. We'll get into 3D later.
Okay, I would definitely have to say Comic Zone. That's another.
Yeah,
good
okay, we gotta add that to our list.
River City Ransom on the Nintendo.
Oh, I've never played that either. I want to play that too.
Oh my god, that is like an open world beat 'em up RPG game.
Hell yeah.
Of like first of its kind, and it's so good. I love that game. And
are any of the newer River City Ransoms? Because didn't they do some on Steam?
They do, but they have like. They have this team that's just like, hey, do you guys remember like Kunio and stuff? Like that's the original name and stuff.
What was that like? Not reboot, but like kind of that like open world game that came out a couple years ago. Was it like Retro City or something like that?
Oh, that's something completely different.
That's something completely different. It's not really like a beat 'em up kind of game, but it does like adhere to those styles. But I would say River City Ransom Underground.
Is that the one on Steam?
That is like the perfect sequel to like River City Ransom. It is so like the combat in that game just like completely destroys like many other like modern games that have like these combo systems and everything, because there's like combos and stuff, and it feels so well to like hit someone.
Wait, real quick, weren't you guys just in an arcade?
Yeah, that's the one thing I was
Why
going to point out.
Ship?
I do like that this game is more playful than Final Fight. I love Final Fight 1 stages, 2 and 3, whatever. I like that this kind of gets ridiculous. Like you're in an amusement park, that's why. Yeah. But like you go on like an alien spaceship later on, like this game is just, and you're on a beach later. Like this game has like pretty cool environments.
Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite levels, like in beat 'em up games, because it feels like you're in Disneyland at night.
Yeah,
and that to me,
just like Silent Hill 3.
Yeah, oh, there's that too. A little graphic, but this one, yeah, you're going on a pirate ship. You're going through like these little caves.
Reeves? Is that who we're fighting?
Oh,
it's Bino.
Bino.
I thought it was Keanu.
Oh, you can't.
That's what it looks like. Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, so this game, I mean, later on you go to like a cool like baseball field. Yeah. Then you go to these like so many cool locations.
God, it's too much health. Get over this.
Frank, why are you stuck at this game?
I'm kicking his ass.
Wait till he comes over here. We'll beat him up. Yeah, throw him over here.
Oh, fuck it.
Stab that guy.
Just punching the outside of the screen.
But yeah, this game has like such cool levels. It's mainly the music that makes these levels stand out to me. Like, cause this one is called Dreamer. I believe that's what it's called. But it's like one of my favorite. Like, it sounds so cool. It gives you like this, again, this nighttime feeling of being in a theme park. And I'm about to enter the alien zone.
Hell, the alien zone. Hell yeah. Didn't you?
Oh, this is really cool.
I mean, this is cool. Yeah,
look at
this. Awesome. What happens if you punch over into these?
Punch them, but walk away from them.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Right.
Rod knows this game too well. Here, you can get some of that help.
And yeah, you even have
taking that shit. Yeah, take it to the front. Yeah.
You even have like this whole background of like, look, it feels like HR Giger stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Oops.
I mean, we'll get into that later. Metal Slug also pulls from that. I mean, I love, man. Like again, we talk about this in our Final Fight episode. Sorry, but I love when Japanese games pulls from American culture.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like Geiger's Swedish, right? But I mean, this is Ridley Scott's Alien. Like, there's something so charming of having that shit reflected through like all these different lenses. So it's like you have the original source material, Alien, which is already crazy, and then you have Japan sees it, and then they dip this back out to you through their video game, and it's just like, and now here we are. Originally, Alien is what, 79? So that's like 30 years later. But then here we are playing this video game from like 92, and so it's just like their impression of it is stamped in time, and now we are 20 years later talking about it.
That's my favorite stuff. Again, also like you just said, like when Japanese people they take styles from like American culture or whatever, and to me the one that stands out the most is Snatcher. And that is like Hideo Kojima's like
all his early shit.
That is like his version of like, hey, I liked Blade Runner a lot. I'm gonna do a Blade Runner game.
Yeah. And
it's so like it has like this crazy like kind of like jazzy element. Like it's a jazzier version of Blade Runner.
Yeah. It's like was it like Whiplash? Real jazz?
Well, not that crazy, but it does feel like it feels like you're in a club, like in the 90s. Like the beginning of Hard Boiled.
Oh shit! Yeah.
When he's playing like the little fucking piccolo or whatever the hell it is. Yeah, man, it has that style to it, and it also contains elements of like the Terminator on Snatcher, but we can talk about that later if you want.
Okay,
it's such a cool game.
We'll talk about Snatcher over the course of our time here. Is there any point to beating up the aliens, or did they just explode?
Like the little blue things right there.
Well, they give you health.
Yeah, those are basically like the
barrels.
little boxes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like,
but
there's so much going on here. We're in an amusement park. We're on it, but there's aliens and there's ninjas in the alien. Like, it's Too many layers.
Wait, I know the story to Final Fight. What's the story of this game?
So in the first
what's the
game,
trilogy?
you play as 3 cops.
Okay.
Axel, Blaze, and
Is Blaze
Alex,
undercover? She looks like an undercover agent.
Undercover what, right?
Just saying,
I was-
She's kind of dressed flat, kind of lewd. For
She looks
the
like
90s.
Roxanne from The Police.
Yeah,
the
okay.
song.
Wow.
So in the first game, you play as these 3 like ex-cops or whatever.
Are they ex-cops or
Yeah, they were cops, but then they leave the force because there's so much corruption. And this guy
okay.
named Mr. X is like trying to take over. He's just like, I'm gonna lead this whole gang to take over the city. And you play as these 3 people, and you set out to beat them up, basically. And the second one, your friend gets kidnapped.
Okay.
His friend, I believe. Oh man, I don't know if his name Alex. I think.
Okay.
So he gets kidnapped. So then Axel contacts his little brother.
Okay.
Skate. So Skate is just like, hey, my brother got kidnapped. Can you guys help me go get him back? So then they all team up. Axel brings over his luchador friend, which is Max, who looks it's Haggard basically. Like that's their version of Haggard.
Yeah. Oh, Sega
So
Stadium, hell yeah.
this whole game is just go beat people up. Mr. X is back, and go get your brother back.
It's like Boo.
It is the most simplest storyline, but it works.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, it's cool that the amusement park's in the background. Like you just.
Yeah, it's this constant progression.
That's cool.
That's one thing. Fucking in Nier, when you see the amusement park in the background, and then you go inside the castle. Oh, amazing.
How many endings does this game have?
Yeah.
So the first game had 2 endings. You could play.
Do
you can
baseball.
You can be a good guy, or you can be a bad guy.
Whoa, what? Is this like a nice little republic? Is there a force meter that builds to the game?
No, it's just like the weirdest final thing. It's just like, hey, do you want to join me? And you could select yes or no, and then the game ends. Yeah, it's really cool.
But
however, if you play 2 players, if one of you says, yeah, I want to be the bad guy, and the other says, I want to be the good guy,
you fight?
both of you have to fight
Sega
each
does
other.
that in all their games, like Die Hard. Like I love that shit.
That's cool.
It is like the coolest little thing. But this one just has like one single ending.
Oh yeah.
I know Streets of Rage 3, if you play on an easy difficulty, you beat the last boss, it'll tell you, haha, that was cool. Why don't you try something more challenging?
I hate when games do that. I get it, but that's annoying. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
They hide their hard endings to the harder stuff.
Frank showing his true bottom fragger.
No, I'm just I gotta play so many games for research. I ain't got time to play a game twice.
I think it's justified. I mean, if you want to fight the bad guys, you got to go all in.
It's true, yeah. You can't take the easy way out. That's true. If you want something, you gotta do it hard. Didn't you see the composer of this game live?
I did actually, and luckily it was through Red Bull has this music academy thing.
Yeah.
And
They do interviews with a ton of Japanese composers. They interviewed the Street Fighter 2 composer. They interviewed the composer of Capsule, Yasusuke Nakata. You got some cool shit.
Yeah, so this was basically, I mean, they released the season 1 a while ago. I guess they're coming out with the season 2, but in order to promote that, they got the composer Yuzo Koshiro to come out and perform this the set, like Streets of Rage 2 and his music.
Was it like a live band? Was it a DJ set?
It was him in front of a green screen where they had footage from this game playing in the background.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he performed he had his whole little keyboard set up.
Yes.
He had the DJ and everything.
How old
and
is
his
he
friend.
now?
Oh, I don't know. He looks like, I mean, his
Probably
hairstyle.
50s.
Well, that's the thing, dude. Is a lot of Japanese developers, especially in this time, they're all in their 20s, so it's they don't look that old.
Yeah, but I mean, when they get that little haircut, you're just like, oh, I don't know if he's 50 or if he's 30.
Yeah.
He's like a Final Fantasy character. But
I will say though, Poison and Roxy from Final Fight are a little bit hotter than Electra. These look like they ain't doing nothing.
Tell us more about who's hot in this game, Frank.
Blaze.
already, yeah, there you go. That's all you need. I mean,
Yeah.
she has magazines dedicated to her. There's
Oh,
a
wow.
whole Wikipedia article dedicated to her
nice.
character.
Nice.
The producer, this hip hop producer, Just Blaze, he got his name from this character.
Hell yeah.
It is the coolest shit, man. Especially when you
awesome.
hear Just Blaze on a song, you're just like, oh, it's Streets of Rage 2.
Hell yeah. What was the crowd like for that Streets of Rage show?
It was cool. I mean, there was a lot of artists that get inspiration from that style of music. I don't know what that genre of music is. Do you know that kind
Real
of music?
It's like chiptune-y, punky stuff.
Yeah, there you go. It's like
Yeah.
chiptune music, but they add fucking hip hop over it and stuff,
that's
and it's
cool.
really
Yeah.
weird. So almost the crowd, everybody, as soon as that that person's set was over, and Yuzo Koshiro came out,
That's awesome.
everyone almost left. It was almost an empty little.
Oh,
lot.
really? So everyone was there to see the other stuff?
Yeah, so they're more popular or whatever. But
okay.
it was still a packed house, but
Yeah.
there wasn't a lot of people there. But it was cool. There's these two guys who were freaking out the whole time, and security had to stop them from reaching up and
Ew.
giving them a high five. It's just
gross.
dude, relax. I get it, but it's also be respectful.
Yeah,
to
Bruce
them.
and I
They're
just
DJing.
Bruce and I just saw this YouTube artist named Poppy, who's essentially America's Carrie Pamu.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's this really fucking funny and smart musician dude named Titanic Sinclair. He does music videos and stuff. and he had a band called Mars Argo, but now his new project is Poppy, and it's very inspired by Japanese pop, and he produces music through this like figure. I mean, Bruce, you can explain it better.
Yeah, Titanic is all about, he's extremely postmodern, and he's like, he basically does this like really high level of art where it's like almost this like really high level satire while still being super catchy and fun.
Yeah.
So also like not annoying.
Yeah, so like a lot of the people who follows Poppy, a lot of the comments are like, ew, what is this? Oh my god. They don't realize that it's a satire of YouTube.
Like,
and the music is actually really good.
Like the music itself is actually really like poppy and like really fun.
And they went to Japan, they recorded it in Tokyo with an actual Japanese music producer, so it sounds like legit good J-pop.
And like I was super stoked to see her live, and her like if you just look up her music, it's very punchy.
Yeah,
it's
very fun. I mean, it kind of
face.
has like an Anamana Gucci vibe to like their newer stuff. Anyways, but she has like 1 million YouTube subscribers. So me, Bruce, and Katie, we all went up there, had a great time, or we were looking forward to the show, and we got there, and the crowd was mostly like 17-year-old kids, YouTube people. They were there to see a YouTube star and not to actually enjoy the music. So the three of us were like dancing, singing along. Everyone else was on their phones taking pictures and Snapchats. It was the best, like one of the greatest shows I saw. It was like going to a sketch show. It had all these bits and stuff. It was really subversive and funny. But the whole audience was like they were just taking pictures. And the irony is like Poppy and Titanic, they have songs about making fun of people who do that shit.
Yeah, I'll say my favorite part is when they perform Let's Make a Video, her two dancers follow Poppy around the stage with iPhones.
Taking Snapchats,
and just following her constantly, like making, and the audience is doing the same thing.
Unironic, like they don't realize it, and like we're in the back screaming like, "Oh, Titanic!" because he's the actual musician of it. But yeah, shows can be kind of making or broken by the crowds.
Yeah, it was the same thing with this one. I mean, most of the audience there, again, they were there for like the younger, newer musicians and stuff. But the people that did stick around for like Yuzo Koshiro, like they were definitely older. I did see like kind of like this 50-year-old guy who was like rocking out to this stuff,
Oh hell yeah!
And it's great to see that stuff too. But then it also kind of makes you sad, like, hey, this like Yuzo Koshiro was the one who basically inspired the musician that you're listening to right now.
Hell yeah!
And I don't think people give him a lot of credit. I'm pretty sure a lot of do, but for me, I feel like, hey man, this guy brought the club scene to like Japan and like the United States with this soundtrack.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize
Well, like you listen to it now, like there's sound like Final Fight is like the soundtrack is like I like it in the game, but that's not some shit I'd listen to outside the game.
Yeah.
This soundtrack is a fucking pop it's amazing.
Dude,
it's really good.
It goes hard in this music.
Dude,
it is club music.
So check that shit out. I'll link KingdomHeartsInsider.com in the comments. Oh man!
Buy the vinyl. Yeah, you can buy the vinyl.
I remember when I discovered Kingdom Hearts Insider or whatever that website was called, like the 2000s, where it was every video game soundtrack. I downloaded Street Fighter. Like I was really cool in high school. I had all these dorky video game soundtracks on my iPod.
I still use it now. Yeah, that's a cool website.
Yeah, what did I just download recently? I forget. Yeah, that's cool as hell. So is this?
Did you download the Voodoo Vince soundtrack?
No, not yet. I'll send you.
I'll send you a link later,
okay,
Frank,
cool.
if you want to download it.
How many? So this is like the 4th stage. How many more levels are there of this?
There is, I believe, 4 more? 4 more.
Okay, cool. Is that Groot in the back with the spiky hair?
It should be.
Really?
That new Thor movie's out. Oh wait, he's not a Thor guy.
Oh man. Well, I'm not a Marvel guy. What is this level?
This is the...
Oh, fuck.
Okay, so you're on the boat. This one's pretty cool.
This is like
but it's not, I mean, this is like one of the more plain levels, honestly.
Yeah, I was hoping to get, there's a beach level, like, right after that's gorgeous.
Yeah.
But, same thing with Final Fight. Final Fight's great, and then as soon as you get to, like, the factory level, it's like, this level is just so ugly, like, I don't care.
Yeah, it definitely slows down from here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that was a good little wrap-up. Real fast, come here.
Oh, I don't promote violence on women.
So that was Streets of Rage 2 for the Sega Genesis. We played the 360 port on Sonic's Ultimate Gamer Genesis Collection. Rod, what'd you think?
Streets of Rage 2 is one of the best beat-em-ups of all time. I'm going to say that right now. It has an amazing soundtrack.
Hell yeah.
It's a fun game to play with friends. It's just a really cool game. I really love it.
How many thumbs?
I would give it 2 thumbs up.
Ooh, okay. For me, Final Fight's my favorite beat-em-up, but the soundtrack that's like one of the key things of that game. You download the soundtrack even if you don't care. Playing that game with 2 players is fun. Has a little of the Sega charm. Again, I didn't grow up with Streets of Rage 2, so I don't care that much, but it's still a good game, but I'm gonna give it a solid thumbs up. And again, essential, it's like an essential game you gotta play for history. But yeah, just 1 thumbs up. Bruce?
I mean, as you can tell by the Let's Play here, I had a lot to say about
Don't
the game.
call it that. This is a critical analysis gameplay commentary.
As you can tell by the critical analysis gameplay commentary,
you.
I had a lot to say about the game, so, no thumbs for me.
Oh, damn. Burning. Oh, okay. Well, that's still 3 thumbs. Hey, 3 thumbs up. Still good. Still a good score. That's true. All right. What if you grew up with an Xbox? Get off this Genesis show.
Xbox?
All right. Emails.
You've got mail.
A few weeks ago, we put a call out to our fans during our Blinx the Time Sweeper review. At the end, I had so many questions about my own sexuality, about cat girls. I wanted to see some fan art. Thankfully, Duo Dunk and Atticus Finch came to the rescue. I got some emails. Subject line is Blinx self-suck.
Oh my, what kind of show is this?
This is an intellectual show. It's an art show.
What did Frank call it? A critical game analysis.
Game analysis.
This is what this is.
This is pretty good. This is kind of how I imagined it. I didn't know he'd be so casual, like leaning back.
I mean, it's like, sometimes when you crank it late at night, it's a little bit more of a casual thing. You're kind of tired. He's probably going through that. He just got off work. He sucked up some trash, and now it's sucking up something else.
But that thing he used, he sucked up trash. Does he disinfect it?
I mean, it's all. I think this is like the technology in the future. Like it's sucking up time crystals, trash, other things.
Hey, he can make it. He can fast forward.
Yeah.
Hey, if he finishes, can he rewind time and go again?
I mean, he doesn't get affected by the time mechanic. Though.
Oh,
just things around
well then
him.
you can fast forward so you're ready to go again.
I think the liquid might come back, but it won't go in.
That's foul. All right, here's our second one. This one, he looks more.
Okay.
Is this Blinx 2?
I'll say I got an issue with this one. This vacuum is from Blinx 2. And that is an inferior game.
Okay.
Okay.
It's only in Blinx 2 when you get this Van Halen.
But what if it works better
shit.
on yourself?
Yeah, but Blinx 2 sucks.
Hey, well, yeah, though, I mean...
He's not even, like, the vacuum isn't even sucking him. Like, he's like it's his tummy.
Hey, maybe hey, I don't know, maybe he's like me, he finished on his chest, and then he's sucking up, he's doing some cleanup after. See, that's a good use of the vacuum cleaner I didn't think about before. Oh, baby, here's the shop girl. I was delighted to get this picture in.
It's not the same without the music, but,
See, with this girl, I don't even think of Blinx the Time Sweeper, I just think of Jackie Onassis Kennedy. She's got the same pillbox hat and outfit and everything.
That just ruined history for me.
I mean, she's single, so...
Oh, no. Thank you for all your wonderful fan art. You can send us regular emails to AtTheComputerShow@gmail.com.
I'm just gonna say, not enough fan art.
Not enough fan art. Send us questions. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm @FrankHowley.
I'm _Brewsums.
I am at Wreck and Rod.
Thank you so much for watching our review of Streets of Rage 2 and our hentai art discussion. We'll catch you next time at the computer. Assuming you don't get grounded from your mom.